Rolling.
Okay. Once you're ready, let me know.
I'm ready.
Now, David, what's your immediate reaction to the fact of the repatriation, this time, of $311.7 million Abacha loot? I guess it's called Abacha loot 3.
Yes.
What's your immediate reaction?
First, again, we've been campaigning for the last 25 years for the repatriation of stolen assets touched in West Iran. And the repatriation of the Abacha 3 is a huge victory. And it's a victory for the Nigerian people, it's a victory for campaigners, it's a victory for anti-corruption campaigners around the world. Again, it's a demonstration that there is a political will behind the repatriation, because the US, the Jersey government, and Nigerian government demonstrate that they're working closely under the spirit of the GFA principle. If you recall, in 2016, when the UK government hosted the anti-corruption summit in London, one of the key outcomes of that process was the US and UK government agreed to co-host the Global Forum on Asset Recovery. And that forum, coincidentally, Nigeria also signed on the Abacha 2 agreement. So it's win-win for Nigeria. And one of the concrete outcomes from that process was the GFA principle, Global Forum on Asset Recovery principle. And one of the underlying principles was that there should be some level of cooperation, both countries where money is deposited and where money is returned. So Abacha 3 represents that demonstration. For me, it's victory for everybody. It's victory for the North, it's victory for the South. And we should continue, this should serve as a momentum. And I'm happy the way the Nigerian government have also disclosed this publicly, and the Attorney General, we must commend him on behalf of the Nigerian government. He has publicly announced the receipt of the $311 million, the Abacha 3. And I'm very optimistic that they have also, again, also followed the GFA principle by announcing that they are also in the process now of procuring the third-party monitoring civil society. And as you know, ANEEJ is one of the leading anti-corruption organizations working on monitoring of asset recovery in the country and internationally. We have also announced very publicly in the public statement that we will monitor the Abacha 3 independently. And because we want to be able to monitor the process, that's what we'll be doing since Abacha 1, Abacha 2, and now the Abacha 3. We are very excited about the opportunity. We are excited about the Nigerian government recording this victory. Not every country, each time these recoveries are announced in Nigeria, people just take it as granted. But the process of recovery money is not an easy one. It's a long
drawn
process. And so when it happens, it's something that we should commend those who are involved. I must commend the leadership of the Ministry of Justice. They have done very well. Within a period of just less than 10 years, we have recorded recovery of over $600 million, not mentioning others like the $70 million that was also recovered from UK. We are very happy, and we are happy, excited, and we must commend Nigerian government, commend President Buhari. This is a victory. And then one thing that is also very unique about this recovery is about using the resources for investment that Nigerians can validate. For instance, the Abacha 2, which we are currently monitoring across the country. The first time in history, civil society are monitoring this process. The money is going for cash transfer program across the country. There are issues here and there, but the most important thing is that citizens are able to see where money is going. And then we are able to validate whether when the money leaves the central bank, it gets to the beneficiaries across the country. And then if you recall, when the Abacha 2 happened, Nigerians were not very happy that the money was going for cash transfer program. Some people mooted the idea that the money should go for legacy projects. So now it's going to 3 major infrastructural projects. One of the projects is the Ibadan-Lagos Road. The other one is Kano-Abuja Road, and then the second Niger Bridge. For me, it's a big plus for Nigeria. I know some segment of the society are also going to raise question, why the 3 major tracks? Those issues will arise. But for we as civil society campaigner working on this area, we are concerned about when the money is recovered, is it properly utilized? And I think this is what we'll be doing in the next few months.
Now, let's look at the monitoring process. Yes. You've always been monitoring the disbursement and the conditional cash transfer. This time, the monitoring is moving towards key infrastructural projects. Will ANEEJ be very much interested in monitoring
So we've already issued out a statement welcoming the recovery, at the same time announcing our independent monitor. As a matter of fact, we're kicking this off by next week. We are setting up a task force within the MATRAC thing. There are 3 approaches we are adopting. We are also entering into an MOU with one of the leading organizations in Washington, Open Contract Partnership, OCP. We're also reaching out to key strategic partners within the country. We want to first do research around gathering data of the projects, the 3 projects. Where are we now with the projects? What amount of resources have gone into the project? And we want to gather that first information that Nigerians need, and then also come out with a policy brief to educate Nigerians about the content of the agreement. I am sure that not many Nigerians are aware of the agreement, and the agreement contains major elements on how the projects will be implemented and provisions for access to information and all that. So we will be carrying out public awareness, carrying out public education, so that the public are aware about the agreement, public are aware about what is going on, and the agencies that are responsible for the implementation of, like the Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund, that will be managing this process. So those informations are the things we need to be putting out there in the public, and we'll be setting up using technology to track this process. We have seen that the major companies that are also bidding, who are implementing these 3 major projects, we're also going to be engaging them. And we're engaging them on the level of making sure that what they claim to they have carried out is something that we can validate on the field monitor. And then we're also going to be engaging the Ministry of Justice as well too. And one of the key strategic way of engaging them is to making sure that they create a framework that will respect disclosure of policy. And we're also going to be engaging the other 2 countries, Jersey and the US government, because they also have a stake in this process. Because when money is returned from those countries, there are politicians in those countries that don't want the money to be returned back. As a matter of fact, in the US, there were a senator and member of the House of Reps who wrote to the ministry, the State Department, asking them not to return the money to Nigeria. So it is but there are those in the Congress, the US Congress, that are in support that the money should be returned back. So now there are 2 forces in the US, there are 2 forces in Western Europe. There are the forces who do not want the money to be returned back to Nigeria because they feel that the system is very corrupt. If you return the money back, the money will be restored. And so why bother waste the effort to return the money to Nigeria? And there are the other forces who are working closely with us that the money should be returned back. And because we believe strongly that the Nigerian government is now respecting the space for civil society to engage in the process. And as a matter of fact, the agreement surrounding the return of this money, there is a provisions that recognizes the role of civil society. For me, that's a victory. That's something that we need to continue to build on and continue to expand. And so we want to see that those groups that do not want the money to be returned back do not, at the end of the day, say, we told you that this money will be restored. So we want to make sure that the group that have staked out their political credibility for this process are vindicated. Otherwise, we will set back the whole victory we have recorded in the campaign to return stolen assets tax in Western Bank.
Well, you did say that there will be some people commenting on this issue of the return money and why these key projects. But importantly, the key project decision where these monies will be applied to seems to have been a decision by the executive. The legislature was not involved. If you like, the total Nigerian process was not involved. Are you satisfied with that kind of decision-making process?
First, we must understand that it's not a perfect situation, but it is the National Assembly that have appropriated for budget 2019 and 20. And in that appropriation, there's a column of receipts from stolen assets, and there's an account for stolen assets in the central bank. So, and I think this particular fund has been appropriated for, and so in that way we can say the National Assembly has participated. But whether they participated in actual
decision of those same projects,
those 3 projects, that I cannot confirm. But I think as we proceed further, we will begin to have conversation on all these issues. And I think the first thing Nigerians should be satisfied because these 3 projects, as far as I'm concerned, if it's properly carried out, it does help to grow the Nigerian economy. It doesn't really matter whether it has to. Because, you know, this one thing we must all come to the fact with. There's no time you're going to embark on a project that will impact everybody at once. We will have, for example, if the road between Lagos and Ibadan is properly carried out, in that people coming to Benin will have the impact, no matter how. And then the people that live in Ibadan, that live in the southwest, they are not just Yoruba alone. So we should not be, these are thinking, narrow thinking. We should be very careful. Politicians have exploited it to create division among us in the country. We should be very careful and cautious. What is most really important at this point in time is whether the money has been received, is the money judiciously used. I think that's the really key thing. And then in future recovery, we can have that debate and say, okay, we have had enough. And that's why when Ibori money was being negotiated to be returned back to Nigeria, I stood up to challenge the federal government that the money need to be returned back to Nigeria, returned back to Delta State. And we were happy that we were able to encourage Delta State government to raise up their hand. And the federal government have also agreed in principle that it's good that every return to this country, if it is from the state government, this money should return back to the state government. And I'm happy that that has set a precedent. So if maybe any governor from any of the 36 states steal money and is returned back, it will not be used by the federal government. It has to be returned back to the state. Like in Alamisia case in Bayelsa, the money from the US is going to return back to Bayelsa. But the problem is that we need to put up safeguard because we can't trust the system at the state level. And those safeguards is what we are encouraging state governors who are not signed on to open government partnership that they should try to indicate interest to sign on to open government partnership. Because the open government partnership provide the framework for good governance, for transparency, for accountability. And governors who are indicating that commitment demonstrates that they are readily willing to set up a system that will enable them utilize public recovered funds for a judicious purpose.
Now, lastly, always the story in Nigeria is about re-looting looted money. How are we going to be sure that this time, when you are monitoring, there's going to be enough of a drive to ensure that both the Lagos-Ibadan road, the Kaduna Abuja road, then the Second Niger Bridge, that nothing happens. It is vying for money, money will be applied concretely, and there will be no such thing as a re-looting agent.
That's why this old idea of monitoring, and that's one of the reasons why we have decided to stick to the independent monitoring. Every Nigerian has a responsibility to be part to this monitoring. Every stakeholder, the church, the religious group, the media, the state governors, the obas, everybody, is everybody's business to rise up. For example, the Southwest governors, they should ensure that the money allocated for Ibadan Lagos road, the money go there. For example, the Southeast governor, they should ensure that the money allocated for the Second Niger Bridge is utilized. The Northwest, the North Central, the Northeast, the Northern governors should make sure that the money allocated for Kano Abuja road goes to that place. It is not the business of civil society alone. It is not the business of ANEEJ alone. It's not the business of matter partners alone. It's our business. It's our business to ensure that public resources recovered from abroad is utilized properly. If we are waiting in our houses and only to be throwing stone, well, we are victim of the implication. If they loot it, it's not just David that's going to suffer alone. It is our children, it's we that will suffer. So do we want that to happen? We will not. So we're encouraging people, we're mobilizing people. We're so happy. And in the last few weeks, we have seen how Nigerians have risen up to beginning to demand questions about the COVID-19 palliative. People are beginning to ask questions. And then the level of decay of health infrastructure in the country have again demonstrated that with all the huge resources government have put into the health sector, what are we to show for it? COVID-19 have again exposed this country. It has exposed us. And this is what I think is really challenging. And when these bad roads accident happen, it's not only the poor man that died, the rich man also died. And thank God, the COVID-19, we have seen now that both the rich and the poor are victims. And as a matter of fact, even the poor are more safer in the COVID-19 framework. And so you can see that God, you can play with man, but you can play with God. This one.